Week 8, Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Giants coming off Week 7, New York Jets. It's WrestleMania. Oh, did I just come up with a great new nickname for Russell Wilson there?
Great new t-shirt idea.
I feel like we're getting sued with WrestleMania, but
we
can try
close. You're getting close to copyright infringement with that
one, we are definitely going to get a phone call from the WWE that says, "Hey, pal, no." I'm like, all right, yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. We had that conversation. But we're getting fired up about WrestleMania. We're getting fired up about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm excited for these Overreaction Tuesdays. I'll toss it to you, Nick. What do we got?
Yeah, we got some from me. We got some from the listeners, as always. And then, of course, people are throwing them in the live chat here at All Steelers Talk on YouTube. Let's start with mine. First and foremost, Beanie Bishop, 2-interception game, couple of big plays outside of those interceptions. He earned himself the starting slot corner role for the rest of the season. Sorry, not sorry, Cam Sutton.
Oh my gosh, right off the bat with a banger here. I'm going overreaction. I mean, come on. We're 4 days removed from talking about Beanie Bishop is there. You don't cut him for these reasons, but you gotta hope that maybe Cam Sutton comes back and is a better option. Maybe you're talking about Thomas Graham, Terrell Edmonds, DeMonte Casey. You're talking about all these replays. And it comes up with 2 interceptions against Aaron Rodgers, who, let's be honest, is not very good right now and is throwing a lot of interceptions. And now we're talking starter. I'm going over. Look, I like Beanie Bishop, big Beanie Bishop guy. I have the one thing that I have been very consistent with when talking about his criticism is that he has so much potential behind him. I'm glad that potential showed. I really am truly glad that potential showed. But at the same time, this kid he's not Cam Sutton, and Cam Sutton will quickly show that he's not Cam Sutton, and you will see much less hiccups. So I'm overreaction. Maybe a year from now we're having this conversation. But right now, Beanie Bishop, you're heading not to the bench, but to the depth piece once Cam Sutton comes back in Week 10.
Alrighty, overreaction takes the opener here. Let's go to another rookie, Peyton Wilson, who led the Pittsburgh Steelers with 10 tackles on Sunday Night Football, will be the best player from the Steelers 2024 draft class when it's all said and done.
Wow. When it's all said and done, as in the end of time?
Yeah, end of all their careers.
Wow. I like this one. I like this one a lot. If you said the end of the season, I'd say, nah, Zach Frazier, because he's only going to miss until after the bye week, and then he'll be good to go. But the end of time leaves the door open. I'll say you're going to talk Troy Fautanu, you're going to talk Zach Frazier. I think the biggest, he's got competition across the board because Mason McCormick's going to be a stud, a real big stud. Zach Frazier is going to be an all-pro center at some point in his career. And I think Troy Fautanu is coming out hot and ready to go once he is back and healthy next season. But Peyton Wilson's good. Can he stay healthy with one ACL? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have both ACLs. I don't know what life is like without one of them, how difficult it could be, what the injury risk is here. I got to say overreaction. It's a very close line to not overreaction. I'll admit that, because there is an argument to be made. And if you were going to say top 2, I'd say not an overreaction. But I feel like Zach Frazier has such a heavy hand in this battle right now that if he can stay healthy, he is going to be an absolute monster, like a Marquise Pouncey, potential Hall of Famer type career in front of him. And an inside linebacker, maybe not. He'd have to turn into Fred Warner. If we're going to be honest, he'd have to turn into a Fred Warner if Zach Frazier's headed towards Marquise Pouncey. It's the only way he beats him. And Mason McCoy, Mason, did you see the first down celebration on Sunday?
Yes, of course. Oh my God. Yes, I saw that.
That was that alone. Yeah. That guy is just getting started.
I expect nothing less from somebody who posted a hype video with the song Thunderstruck on draft day. So,
dude, look it.
Perfect.
Look it. Mason's just getting started. I have hopes for him. I would say overreaction, drawing the line, really, really walking the line here of not an overreaction. But I would say that's an overreaction simply because I think Zach Frazier has that just in his hand, and it's his to let go where we stand right now.
All right, last one for me, and then we got a bunch from the listeners. A fully healthy Steelers team is a wide receiver 2 away from being a Super Bowl favorite this season.
Oh my gosh. I was ready to go, and then you dropped favorite. And that one, I was not ready for the favorite. I was not ready at all for the favorite. I'll say not an overreaction. Why would it be an overreaction? You know, why? If you said contender, would it be an overreaction? It wouldn't be an overreaction. It'd be, yeah, definitely. Super Bowl, they're a contender without a wide receiver 2. But you're talking Cooper Kupp is on the market right now. Mike Williams is on the market right now. They're talking DeAndre Hopkins. They're talking Tyler Boyd. You're like a quality wide receiver 2 away from this offense being totally different with Russell Wilson, who is now a quarterback and looks like a damn good one. And they're just beginning to scratch the surface of what this offense will become over the next 10 weeks. I'm going to say not an overreaction. That one you expected me to say overreaction to, I know, but I will say not an overreaction because I think that this team is just getting started. And if you add a wide receiver 2, what's stopping you? The best thing going for them right now is that the Kansas City Chiefs are 6-0. Go ahead, keep winning. Doesn't matter. You want to be good right now? Fantastic. Nobody's good all season. Everybody eventually stumbles. You'd rather them stumble now or later than now. The 49ers, no thank you. The Detroit Lions, probably, but Jameson Williams got suspended last night. What's going on with that team? Who knows? And the Texans can't stay healthy. The Bills are still figuring it out as much as the Steelers. The Ravens are the best team to be the contender for the Steelers to beat. And then you got like the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't trust Nick Sirianni yet. I mean, not at all. I don't trust the Packers. The Cowboys are terrible. Why not? Why not? Outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, I'd say they have a potential to be number 2. And at some point, they're going to stumble. I'm going to go not an overreaction. The second that the Kansas City Chiefs land Cooper Kupp, though,
changes the story.
Window. Yeah, out the window. It's over. It's over.
All right, let's go to some listener suggestions from our community page. Let's start with this one here. Garrett Wilson, just saw him on Sunday, will force his way off the Jets and land in Pittsburgh for a 3rd round pick. Is that your wide receiver 2?
For a 3rd round. You had me. I was hooked. I was coming in. And he started to reel too fast. He took me right out of there. I swam away. That's an overreaction. And it's an overreaction because the New York Jets, not in their right mind, would give Garrett Wilson away for a 3rd round pick. They would not do it. Devontae Adams just went for a 2nd. I mean, I guess it was a 3rd, and they think they're going to win the Super Bowl, so a 2nd. But still, I could see them going after a 2nd. If Cooper Kupp's going for a 2nd, if Devontae Adams' original price tag was a 2nd, I could see Garrett Wilson, who is a 3rd-year player, who is still cheap, with another year and a 5th-year option on his deal. I could see that easy, the 2nd round pick, and I could see the beginning of that question or that beginning of that take being correct with him trying to force his way out of the Jets. Because why would you want to stay with the Jets? It makes no sense. They are an absolute dumpster fire with a quarterback who has gone from blaming the running game, blaming Garrett Wilson, blaming Mike Williams, to now saying we have to stop listening to the media. And then the next word out of his mouth was, we also have to take accountability. What? Dumpster fire. I'm going to say it's an overreaction. You had me hooked until you said 3rd round pick. I'm going 2nd round pick. It's no longer an overreaction. With the 3rd, it is. There's this chill in the air. The leaves are hitting the ground, and football is every single weekend. And that, my friends, is what fall is all about. You can make each weekend even more exciting by getting into the action with our partners, DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. And right now, all new customers who bet $5 instantly get $200 in bonus bets. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up using my promo code, AllSteelers, and guess what? The crown is yours. That's $200 in bonus bets instantly. You could stay in on the action and use that $200 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings, because DraftKings is the place to bet touchdowns. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You could still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers who use my promo code ALLSTEELERS and bet just $5 on any wager get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ALLSTEELERS only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
We got a double whammy here from Carl Spackler. Let's start with this one. Darnell Washington should get more targets than Pat Freiermuth.
Come on. No. It's an overreact. No. What did everybody miss what Pat Freiermuth did with the football the other day? Like the guy had 2 catches, and the one of them was a one-handed contested grab, and the other one he ran through 3 dudes for 40 yards.
Yeah.
If you're going to make the argument of Pat Freiermuth should have more targets than anybody else in Pittsburgh not named George Pickens, yeah, I agree. Nobody should have more targets than him outside of GP. That's an easy overreaction. Darnell is a stud, man. I'm loving Darnell Washington involved in this passing game. It is a blast to see a 6'9", 310-pound guy run with the football. And I won't name names. I'm never gonna rat on guys who are just talking. But I was talking to somebody, a player, and we were joking very heavily about how Darnell Washington is listed at 260, and he has not been under the 3 mark since like 11th grade. And it's like, all right, that would make a lot of sense. So imagine a 325-pound guy, 6'9", catching footballs. You got to love it. Not more than Pat Freiermuth. He's getting paid for a reason. Overreaction.
Let's go to the second one from Carl Spackler, and this one I think you're going to love. Current edition of Russell Wilson is the best and most talented quarterback to ever wear a Steelers jersey.
Whoa. Wow. What?
You asked for overreactions.
Look at shout out to everybody. These are coming in strong, and the way they are being set up is phenomenal because I should have choked there. I should have choked. There should have been a spit take. It should have been wild. Overreaction. I mean, overreaction by a mile and a half, maybe. Russell Wilson's great. The 3rd best quarterback to ever don a Steelers uniform. Yeah. Argument to be made. Top 2? Nah, I don't think so. But depending on your thoughts on Terry Bradshaw, potentially, but an entirely different game. Ben Roethlisberger, Ben Roethlisberger is a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he didn't retire the same year as Tom Brady, which did he retire? Did Tom Brady come back? No, they retired the same year because Tom retired early, came back, then they retired the same year. I'm almost positive. If that's not the case, somebody could correct me. If it's not for Tom Brady, he is the first name in the Hall of Fame. He is the first name of his class in the Hall of Fame. What are we doing? What are we doing, Carl? No. Wait, for those listening, Carl just said current Russ is better than peak Ben. Not even close. It's not even remotely close. That peak Ben Roethlisberger was the 2nd best quarterback in the NFL at times. Maybe 3rd because Aaron Rodgers is there. But if we're going to go winners, it's Ben. It's Ben every time. So outside Tom Brady, no, I'm sorry. No. And it's been 1 game against the 2-5 Jets team. Overreaction, biggest overreaction we've had to date in 3 weeks.
Well, let's go with
and that includes TJ Watt being washed.
Let's go to another Russell Wilson overreaction. Matt Hatch says Russell Wilson will have a 400-yard game against the Giants on Monday Night Football.
That is potentially an overreaction, but I don't want to say it's an overreaction. Like, that's a logical thought to have. Why wouldn't he? Why would he? 264 against a good Jets defense? What's going to stop him from 400 against? Go ahead, tell me who the Giants corners are. Go ahead. I'll give you a hint. One of them,
they brought Jackson back.
Yeah, they brought him back. They said he's not good enough. All right, we couldn't find anybody better. Come on, come back. No, I could see it. You have McKinney. You have Xavier McKinney, who I honestly think actually is in Green Bay now. So maybe you don't even have him. When Mike Tomlin is mentioning Isaiah Simmons as your X factor in a press conference, your defense is not that good. I mean, I'm going to say it's an overreaction, but this walks the line as well. This is a could happen. Like, why would it not happen? 400 yards happens in football from time to time. It just means that you're going to throw the ball a ton. The difference is I think Justin Fields is going to play this game. Najee, another 100-yard game. And I mean, what is George Pickens going to have 200, 300 yards? Like, because that's who else is going to have 100 yards? So probably nobody. I would go overreaction. But again, this one's much closer than I think people would say it was.
All right, let's go to Sajin, who says Steelers are about to be the hottest team in the NFL coming off of their bye week.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Not an overreaction. 100%. You beat the Jets big. You beat the Giants big. You go into the bye week. You come out of the bye week. You potentially beat the Commanders big, depending on if Jaden Daniels plays or not. Why not? What's holding you back? What's holding everybody back? Nobody. Nothing. And when we talk hottest teams, okay, everybody's going to have their qualifications for hottest team. You want to know what really makes the hottest team in the NFL? The hottest team is the guy that the team that everybody's talking about. And you want to know who the national media is going to be talking about more than anybody else? Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and how good they are or how bad they are. But they will be the hottest team in the NFL. I agree with that. That is not an overreaction. That's a good one. I agree.
Let's jump into the live comments and the live overreactions before we head over to the rest of the questions. Let's go with Mason C., who says, Overreaction Tuesday, Steelers versus Chiefs is the AFC Championship. You're getting a preview of it on Christmas Day.
I'm going to say not an overreaction, simply because it could happen. You know, we're not going to say it's a definite, but could happen. So it won't be an overreaction. I'll also say this. The team that the Steelers play on Christmas and the Chiefs will not be the same team they play in the AFC Championship game if that happens, because the Chiefs are always different in the playoffs. They do this differently every time. At the same time, the Steelers will be a much different team on Christmas than they are today. So you just don't know what's going to come out of them. But at the same time, I expect it to be positive. Steps in the right direction. I'm going to say this is not an overreaction, just because, I mean, they got to be one of 5 teams that you're saying could make it to the AFC Championship. There are only 5 teams in the AFC that you got to feel confident about that. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Houston Texans, the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody else stinks. So those would be the 5. The chances are good. Odds are good.
Let's go over to Marquez Smith, who says, Overreaction, we go undefeated the rest of the season with Russ, and Sutton comes back and solidifies us as the number 1 defense in the league, plus a Super Bowl appearance.
Oh, okay.
Triple whammy.
I mean, you went all out with the triple whammy, and then you stopped at appearance instead of win.
Yeah. I'm
gonna say overreaction. And to be very real, you could have got me with the Super Bowl appearance, we just named the 5 teams that are contenders in the AFC. Again, chances are you could beat 2 of those teams. That's all you got to do. Number 1 defense with Cam Sutton, definitely a possibility. Not an overreaction. They might be the best defense now. Undefeated the rest of the year. I mean, no way. You got to play the Cincinnati Bengals twice, which I don't care what you say. It's Cincinnati Bengals, and Joe Burrow is not bad. He's actually potentially the second best quarterback in football. He's just on a really bad team and a really, really bad organization. The Bengals are dangerous for the Steelers. The Browns just got better. The Baltimore Ravens are, I mean, with Derrick Henry, you just don't know how the Steelers are going to play him. You don't know if it's going to be the same old result or a different result. You got to play the Eagles. No cakewalk. You got to play the Commanders. No cakewalk. You got to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Definitely not a cakewalk. I mean, it's a brutal back half, I would say. And you went 4-2. You lost to the Colts. Somebody's going to lose eventually. Overreaction. You had me with 2 and 3. You lost me with the first one.
Let's finish off Overreaction Tuesday with Inferno SRT. Steelers win the Super Bowl. Russ gets MVP. The Steelers then repeat next year with Russ. Russ retires and goes into the Hall of Fame as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Screw the Seahawks. Definitely not let's ride with Denver. He goes in as a Steeler.
I'll say this, okay? If you win 2 Super Bowls, Russ is going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Yes, I agree. That's not an overreaction. You win a Super Bowl this year. If it's not TJ Watt, it would be Russell Wilson. I would say that's not an overreaction. 2 in a row. I mean, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. And I think the Steelers are good. And I think they have potential to be very good. And they could do a lot of great things. And they maybe might win a Super Bowl. Who knows? 2 in a row. Do you know how hard that is? It's nearly impossible. And it's nearly impossible to win 1, let alone 2. You're telling me everybody comes back and nobody figures out how to stop Russ. I'm gonna say overreaction. I like it. It's got the Peyton Manning vibe of the win 2, get out of there. I'm going overreaction.